Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Captain.
Red flag.
Cheers to you.
Desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Loser
you.
power.
Love you like I
Lukewarm
love you.
wine.
Don't talk to yourself.
Cheers, BiFFs. Cheers.
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised. This is Ill-advised.
Hi, BiFFs.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Ill-advised.
The podcast where two best friends tell you what to do when someone else already has.
Like your baby mama.
And not your
Baby daddy.
mammogramologist. What are they called?
Mammogramologist.
I made that up.
Sounds right.
Okay. And not your mammogramologists. Hi, Biff.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, actually.
Yeah?
No.
Tell me more.
I finally got back into therapy after a couple months.
Yeah? A couple months?
A year?
A year?
A year.
Was it a year? I've lost all concept of time and my ambiance because your neighbor is loud as fuck.
Loud as fuck. All day long.
I'd love our listeners to go and shut her up.
I don't even have to put the TV on.
You don't?
No.
No, that's a whole show on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and the pile of garbage outside her door.
Oh, her personal storage space in the hallway.
Oh, we all have it, don't we?
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it's been way longer than it has been. My therapist left, so then I just didn't bother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would really make an effort on my end to go and like...
Yeah, I didn't. And then the company called me, the place that my old therapist was at, and was like, "Are you still interested?" And I was like...
Why, you need business?
Right. So that's good.
And the sessions are going good? Have you had more than one or two?
Just one.
Okay.
Just like the meet and greet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, baby steps, proud of you.
Yeah. How you doing?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I'm so good, I'm pissed. You know?
Right.
Like, where's the drama? Where's the... That's it.
Yeah.
Like, not even drama, just like... I think I shared this with you the other day. Just, I'm not, like, in a place where I'm, like, thinking about journaling because I don't really have a lot to journal about. And I'm, like, not thinking about reading because I don't need to, like, escape from anything. And I'm like, oh, this is boring. But also, like, good job.
Right. You have been doing some good work. And, like,
yeah.
with yourself and through therapy. And can we do a belated Mother's Day?
Yeah, because you were over the place when I told you this story, this revelation when it was Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful, wonderful mothers and single fathers.
And people who help raise families too. We forget about those people. You know, like those friends who are always like stepping in and like helping like lift and raise like
Yeah, it takes a village.
Whole fucking village.
Happy Village Day.
Yeah.
No, that offends me as a mom.
Does it?
I
Go on.
I gave fucking birth.
Okay.
And yes, it takes a village, but I'm the brunt of that village.
Well, I don't think,
You know what I mean?
I'm not talking about like people who like in the family who like help or like people who live with you, but like people who like see you like kind of look from the outside and you're like fighting the good fight and you're like visibly like torn down and you're not asking for help. You're not like you refuse.
They're just coming in and being the baby daddy.
Yeah.
You're
like, you refuse to ask for
Right.
help because you're a mom and I pushed that baby out.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah. I hear that.
Not that I know anything about motherhood, but
But you're a dad. So
that's right.
you
My
have an
month's coming.
idea, I guess.
4 more weeks. So my son can draw me a picture.
Aw.
Every year. I love them.
I love that.
Yeah, he has a little tablet, a drawing tablet. So now he like just emails me pictures. So they just sit on Google.
That's the best.
Yeah, it's the greatest.
He's the greatest.
Well, since we have nothing really big to bitch about, how about we rejoice in wine? I love these wine segues. They're getting more and more sophisticated.
And prettier.
Right?
I love this bottle.
I love this bottle. I love it more because there's glitter on it and it doesn't rub off. And you know how I feel about glitter.
Herpes.
Metallic herpes. This one is called Borrasca Prosecco Rosé.
Oh.
It's a very pretty bottle.
It is.
And it is an Italian Prosecco.
Go on. This is going to be good with that face you're making.
I just don't know where the description begins. It's very short, but it says mille simato, and
You're the one who speaks 3 languages.
and Italian's not one of them.
I know, but isn't Italian close to Spanish?
No, they're just all Latin based, like English.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sparkling rosé, layering bright acidity with flavors of dried cherry, salted almond. We both really liked that. Raspberry and strawberry. Great as an aperitif, but also pairs very well with risotto, salads, and sharp cheeses. Borrasca Prosecco.
We love a sharp cheese.
Drink responsibly. Unless you have a designated driver.
True that. I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
There's like 100 other ones.
I was
from this
hoping I'd
brand.
love it just because I loved the bottle.
It's
And I
really
wanna
good.
Keep buying the bottle.
They have like walls of them at Total Wines and More.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like going through, which is really funny because I ordered these for delivery just because I was lazy. And
That's what it's there for.
Because I had better shit to do. And I got a case delivered of different wines. But then when I went there for Mother's Day, they were kind of lining the checkout areas. And they were like, for mom. And I really should have listened.
Yeah. I love it. I give it a 5.
I'm going to give it a 5 too.
I absolutely would continue to buy this just for myself and to bring places.
And I love that it's not like that pink rosé.
Yeah, you're right. I
I
didn't
really
notice
like this like peachy golden, like I feel ritzy with this.
And you can even see the bubbles still.
I know. And we poured this like 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Because we take forever to set up.
Amazingly.
This is how we do good shows. Speaking of shows, would you like to get to it?
Yeah.
Before we do that, I do have to remind our listeners, or tell our listeners, because we didn't give them a heads up, make sure you check out episode 65, Let's Rap, with our friends from the Let's Rap podcast. That was such a great episode.
It was so good.
It was such a great discussion.
Ladies, if you're ever curious why your man may or may not do something, or like just the male perspective, you absolutely want to listen into this one.
Yeah. And men, if you're ever curious why you're men, or you're curious about the perspective you're not into, no, it was just, it was great all around too.
It was really
and
great.
the differing points of view, you know, you were facilitating the conversation for people who were listening, people who weren't listening. And we all 3 of us gave kind of different points of view.
Yeah.
It was really, it was such a great discussion. And
really
even
was.
Jay and Phil from Let's Rap were like, what a wonderful episode. And it was great. So you can catch us on their podcast relatively soon, I think, right? We're recording with them very soon. So
yeah, we're doing part 2.
Part 2 with them.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be on the Let's Rap podcast. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So give them a listen. They're wonderful if you're looking for the male perspective and feelings and emotions. And, you know, essentially men are allowed to feel and emote.
Yep.
Is that right?
I don't know. I just thought of a moat.
Will someone Google and get back to us?
Emote.
Will someone emote to us how they feel about our podcast?
Please don't.
While we get to this week's questions.
Yeah. What do we got?
This week, we are going to our friends at the Slate. I thought we would go and have a little bit of a lighter conversation as opposed to the last couple of weeks where they've been a little bit heavy, and went to How to Do It by the Slate.
So good.
With, I think it's Jessica Stoya and Rich Juzwiak. Rich, if you're listening, can you tell me how to pronounce your... Watch it be like Rich Stevens.
Right. With a J.
But it's spelled Juzwiak.
Yeah.
The first one that we have is, my neighbor caught me in a very compromising position. I can't believe how I reacted.
Go on.
This is from July 17th, 2022. Dear How to Do It. I'm a healthy 42-year-old male, currently single and open and adventurous sexually. For the first time in a decade, probably, I was caught masturbating by a neighbor who let herself into my discreet side yard looking for a missing cat.
Shane's the only one missing a cat.
Pussy. No, Yours is way better. I won't go into all the details, but she saw everything, including me coming all over myself. She's funny and sexy and was clearly not distressed by the sight. It was an incredible orgasm for me, noticing her staring at me with a wry grin just as I was about to finish.
I'm dying.
Can you imagine, like,
I'm dying.
Trying to control your stream as you notice your neighbors watching you? I've never been particularly ashamed about masturbating and have long enjoyed showing off for partners. I was a little surprised by how much I loved being startled so unexpectedly. The long and short of it is, I would love to safely explore getting off under such circumstances further, but I'm not sure how to. I'm not interested in hurting anyone or getting in any trouble or doing any damage to my good career or name. Can you offer any suggestions for exploring this kink safely? Eager to share.
I'm dying.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. I was looking for fucking when I was trying to say fantastic. Just gonna drink my wine.
I don't even... How do you... If you plan it, you can't be caught off guard. I mean, to an extent.
Is it the element of surprise? That's what I have to ask, right? So are you turned off by someone like walking in on you? Because then I agree with you. Or are you turned on because someone's surprised by walking in on you? Like you're getting caught, because that resonates with me.
Really?
Oh yeah. 100%. Like if my boyfriend would one day, for the love of fucking God, say yes to hooking up at Marshall's, I would take him in the bathroom. How many places have we been like, do you want to go to the bathroom? Or like, we'll go in the car.
Real quick, yeah.
Oh, goddamn people with good records.
I don't know. I just don't know. Because I'm curious if she responded differently, if he would have still had the enjoyment from it. You know what I mean?
He would have. He just probably would have. Well,
also, he mentioned that she was attractive. So if it was like your, older cat lady neighbor, would it still be a thing for you? You know what I mean?
Maybe she thinks he's sexy too.
Well, that's what I mean. Of course, that's like different.
Right?
If I don't know, if I was going to town and the hot delivery guy saw me.
Oh my God, that's so
like
hot.
That's what I mean. But if it was like
I'm not lying. It's
a not hot delivery guy, then it's like, eek.
There's porn out there of like delivery guys walking in on like dudes in their robes, but the robes open and they've got like a semi.
Yeah. But I feel like
I wouldn't do it.
It changes the dynamic when it's not the hot delivery guy.
Yeah, I would have to say clearly there's a mutual attraction here, right? So it wouldn't be the same to plan it. And also you have to consider you're on your own turf too. Like that person essentially trespassed, right?
It's not like
so they can't really report you, for masturbating in public. But you've got to kind of be careful about that stuff too, unless you post like an ad on Craigslist that goes like revolving gallery here, walk through one door in my backyard, out through the other one in my backyard, and maybe catch me masturbating.
Yeah,
please don't post a Craigslist ad.
I wouldn't even know how to go about this, because if you're planning things, you are kind of losing the element of surprise. Like you can still, to an extent, you can like, obviously I don't want to know you're coming. Right. Right.
Or do I?
Right. I don't know. I don't think I got nothing.
I think the other part of it is too, like, we can't really advise you to do something that could be potentially illegal, right? Because I'm even thinking
because we're not professionals.
I don't know. Take this advice at your own risk. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get in your car. You're going to drive to a parking lot. Go to a Macy's. And you're going to sit in your car with your pants down. You're going to go to town.
That's illegal. It's like not like
you're not going to do that.
Surprise, you're under arrest.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, we weren't going to advise anyone to do anything illegal.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you kind of explore that kink a little bit more. But, you know, the getting caught thing is, it's hot and it's exhilarating and it's sexy for sure. Just the thought of it to me, like, I could, right? So, no.
No, yeah, not for me.
No.
I don't think so. I'm all for like, hey, let's go in the dressing room real quick. But it isn't like it's because I'm like, I just want
Let's
it
go
right
in the
now.
dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like a risk of getting caught.
Yeah, I don't think I
don't think I would love getting caught.
I don't think I'm coming at it from like, let's get caught. You know, I'm coming at it from like, I'm in the mood right now. Let's go and get this done. But then like the
risque.
Yeah, it's like the risk of getting caught if you're not quick enough or if you're too loud or like, it just, for some reason, it makes it sexier to me.
I'm just like, give me a quickie anywhere, anytime.
Does a quickie exist for women? Is that a valid question? I feel like
it is a valid question.
Okay, go on.
I think it does for some women, but okay. I think I can't even say the majority. For me and a lot of my girlfriends, it's more just like whether I finish or not, it's still hot. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Because it's like the unprompted, just for whatever reason, like I just want you right now, but we only have a minute or two, so you know what I mean? Okay.
I just think about like any of the times that I've had sex or I've initiated sex where I don't finish and I'm just like, well, I wasn't worth it. So like,
there definitely is those times, but I think quickies specifically, like I'm in the kitchen cooking and my daughter's in the tub and it's like, you know, we literally bend over real quick while I'm stirring the noodles. You know what I mean? It's still hot and it's still like, I still love it even if I know that I'm not going to finish.
I'm wondering in this case if this person knew that this was like a fetish of theirs before this happened.
No, because he said he was surprised by his reaction.
Oh, you did say that. Or I said that.
I was going to say you did say that.
Yeah, outside of like anything, like how else would you get surprised if it's not something that's like more publicly, you know what I mean? Even still, like the only thing I could think about like is putting yourself in situations where you're at risk for getting caught or run in on. And the only way to do that, I think, is to be in some public setting, which is illegal.
I mean, there's also like how do I say this without saying this? I like to be like,
I'm not looking at you so you could say it. Oh, right. I see what you're saying.
Right.
The more aggressive,
but it's like
role play of
with my boyfriend
consent.
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Like I'm consenting to not consent.
And that I would call that like a type of role play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like come home from work randomly one day and just force me into my bedroom and
that's so hot.
Right.
I wish my boyfriend would come home and put me in the car and take me to Marshall's.
I thought that's all he did. That came out wrong. Not all he did. I absolutely love Colin. That's not. I meant in like the sexual terms. I thought that was his foreplay.
Which is also very valid. Yes.
But do you know what I mean? Like I can still set it up where it's like, I know he's going to do this one day, but it's not, I'm not going to know. Is it going to be Wednesday? Is it going to be next Friday? You know what I mean? Like it's still going to catch me off guard, even though I planned it.
Right. Yeah. It's
but
like
this
it's
is
unwritten expectation or something like that.
But like, who are you going to plan this with?
The best I could give is like keep masturbating
in your back
sunroom.
Yeah, because if it's not in like direct public view, I'd imagine there's no issues there, right? It's not like you're in your living room facing a main street and Ebony and.
Did you say Ebony?
Yep. I was saying everyone and anybody.
Great.
Can walk by and see you from the street. You know what I mean? If you're like in the back corner of your house and the only way to see you is if they're in your yard. I can't imagine that there's any issues with that. Like there's no laws that say we have to shut our shades to do our business, right?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I know that there's human decency, and I don't know if they try to use that. Like, close your shades. Like, if you have a party and it's too loud and the cops come by to like shut it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't use your back door
Well, that's what
or your
I'm saying.
backyard would be something
if you're
different.
not sitting in your
if it's
living
fenced
room.
in, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's anything that anyone can do about that. Like, you're in your privacy.
You had
Someone
to come,
intruded.
right. You had to go out of your way in my yard to see me.
And so, like, that's why I'm saying, like, my best advice here is keep doing it, hoping that cat gets lost again.
And it's going to. If she grinned.
If she was like for it. But maybe you won't have to explore this anymore. Maybe you found your match.
No shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I would not advise doing anything specific to target this girl. Just do what you were doing. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like, don't go out of your way to make sure that she'll see you, like,
right.
in an alley that she throws her trash out in.
Right. Surprise.
Because that's super creepy.
Let's read the answer, because I have no clue.
Dear Eager to Share, I'm tempted to deprive you like you deprived me. What happened after she caught you? We fade out on you coming on yourself, which I guess is cinematic, but too vague an image for my taste. I wish you would have shared your reaction immediately after, since being covered in cum has a way of affecting the dynamic. My desire for this information is not entirely about wanting narrative resolution. I wish I had some indication how she behaved after she caught you and whether she felt skeeved out. I'm not saying that she should have been. Among the first rules of benign trespassing is when you go digging around other people's property, you might just find them jerking off. Can I have that on a fucking
not
bumper
just
sticker?
Jerking off.
Right.
Coming all
like
over
at the
themselves.
end. I just want the full picture of what exactly you're idealizing. It does seem that the implied enjoyment in her staring and ragran is what rang your bell. So perhaps a masturbation club or party would be a party for you. Okay.
Of course they have those.
Well, yeah.
What in the...
A circle jerk. Yeah. It's going to be a lot easier for you to find a party of this sort that caters to men who want to do this with other men. But there are so-called Jack and Jill parties for a mixed gender clientele. You might find such events, or at least the opportunity to show off your dick-polishing talents in a space for swingers, though navigating a swingers club as a single man can be tough. Of course, if being startled is part of the point, you're not going to be able to coordinate that in its pure form, as being unsuspecting in this context is an impossible thing to cultivate. Roleplay with a game partner, perhaps even this neighbor, if she really did enjoy the discovery so much, is about as close as you're going to get to that ethically. Just something to keep in mind as you pursue this.
Okay. We were close.
Yeah, I like the sex party thing. Hearing your reaction, I understand how you didn't come to it. No pun intended again. But I can't believe I didn't think of that. Like, just hit up a sex party where it's like you can role play all the time. But the role play part is what you were hinting at.
But also, like, a sex party, it's like not as fun because now
you've lost that anticipation of getting caught.
Now I'm just sitting in the corner checking off.
Hoping that someone looks and walks away when I'm about to come.
Like,
ready for the next one?
I am.
Okay. My wife sets a horrible trap for me every time we have sex.
Well, let's hope it's not a mouse trap.
And the subtitle is, I'm tired of getting caught up in her stupid game. This is from April 24th of 2022, again from Rich Juzwiak. Dear How to Do It, my wife has put on a fair bit of weight since we were married a couple of decades ago. I'm already pissed.
Go on.
She went from quite slender to somewhat in the borderlands of overweight obese. I'm not complaining, I've put on weight too, and I still find my wife very sexy. The problem I have is in how to respond when she complains about her weight when we're about to get intimate, which she always does. Start with the context first and shit like this, please, so we don't fucking condemn you.
My fat wife.
Literally. When she used to ask me if she is fat, I'd say no, and she'd call me out as a liar and get upset. I was lying. More recently, I've been saying I really enjoy her extra jiggle and find her very sexy. Both are true. She now accuses me of calling her fat or being a creep who's into fat women. Otherwise, our marriage is perfect, but I'd like to improve it with your advice on how to help my partner get over her weight hangups and enjoy the pretty good sex these insecurities are mucking up. If she
pretty good.
Well, I guess it would be fantastic if she wasn't so like caught up in it.
Oh yeah.
If she wants to lose weight for health reasons, I'm fine with that. If she wants to stay where she is or put on more weight, cool with that too. But I've said these exact words in a multitude of different contexts when she brings up weight and they don't seem to help. Not a Weight Watcher.
Okay, so I'm confused only because the title was specific, but then as he was writing the question, it was more like general weight comments.
Sure, she brings them up while she gets naked and they're about to do it. And that's what puts him off.
But it also sounded like she's often making comments.
It sounds like it too, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just stick with the bedroom one.
Sure. I would, just because of the question.
But I'm also confused because I immediately went to when we're, making these comments about like, oh my God, I'm so fat. Like, we're not always saying that to get the response back. They're like, no, you're not. Sometimes it's just a general like, oh my God, these fucking jeans don't even fit because I'm so fat. But sometimes there is.
Which I can relate.
Yeah, me. That's why I'm in leggings.
This is why I'm wearing a diaper. Or really short shorts. Anyone who's watching, this is not Pampers. This is Huggies.
I was going to say it's Loves.
It's Loves. Oh yeah, way better. Love Sacks.
But I would assume that even if she's not saying it blatantly to like get him to be like, no, you're fine, I'm sure part of her is still wanting that. But then he mentions that when he does reassure her, she gets mad at him for it. Like, oh, you're agreeing with me, or you're calling me fat, or, you know what I mean?
And I think that's what the trap is, right? So she's like,
right.
I'm so fat. And
then he says,
and he's like, no, you're not. Yes, you are. Yes, I am. You're a dick. Or if like,
or it's like, you're still
I love
beautiful.
where you are.
Yeah.
And it's like another fight. So he's like, it's only pretty good sex because it could be fucking wonderful sex if she just fucking let go.
Yeah, you're right. That is the trap.
Yeah. No.
Well, shit. You go first. Now I have to think.
No, I just struggled through reading this paragraph.
My answer was to reassure her. But if she's getting mad when you do,
I wonder if he ignored her, if she'd get mad too.
Of course she will. She'll kill him.
She'll punch him in the dick throat.
Absolutely.
Butt throat. She'll punch him in the throat. I don't know, bro.
This is a trap.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that his approach is always right. We're not there for those circumstances, right? So we can't really. It's a very general story.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt though, because of the way he was saying, like, if she wants to lose weight, cool. If she doesn't, cool. If she gains more weight, cool.
Fine, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt this time.
And that one line where it's like, we're otherwise having okay sex. Like, you could have mind-blowing sex.
Yeah.
If she would just let go.
The insecurity.
Yeah.
Which I get. We all, especially if it's like, well, I'm sure we all have our moments. Even if it's like a long-term relationship or...
Yeah. Oh, I have them daily.
You know what I mean? Like...
But my boyfriend's like shut up, you're beautiful. And I'm like, what the fuck do I say to that?
Nothing, because that's the right answer.
I just go, thanks, babe.
Bend over.
And grab your ankles.
This really is a trap.
It is a trap. That insecurity has taken over her to the extreme, and she doesn't know how to handle it either. So
clearly, because if she's not even accepting him saying like, babe, like, I fucking don't even care if you put on more weight,
right.
Or I don't care if you did put on weight, or...
This is a conversation beyond that. Like, talking about, what she says to you, what these conversations do to you, how they make you feel during sex, how they make you feel before sex, after sex, in your relationship in general. Does she know that you feel like you're trapping her? Does she see that perspective? That's important. That is important. You can't just come out of left field and just...
I wonder if he flat out came out and said, like, when you're feeling this way, or, when you make a comment, how can I respond in a way that you'll feel loved or supported?
And that's so proactive that I feel like there's a greater chance that she'll be receptive to that.
And it'll also make her stop and think, like, oh, right. Like, what would I want him to say or do?
Right.
Because if he's already doing these things and she's not receptive to them,
it's a me issue.
Right.
And I need to
and
go.
she also can, next time she says something and he responds in what seems to be, I would like these types of responses if I was making these comments.
Yeah, I think he's doing way better than I would.
Yeah,
because
that's what
I'd
I
be
mean.
like, I'm not stepping foot into that fucking trap. Nope.
I'll shut the light off.
And that's another fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shut the light off, you fucking bitch.
But do you know what I mean? Like, it can, either she can start noticing that he is responding in like a more, I don't know if I'd say loving, but just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you still look great to me. Like,
yeah, I think at one point it's on us as the partner to just say, like, I've expressed to you how much I love you, and I know you have your insecurities, and I know that there are things about you that bother you, but I love you for who you are, and you're putting me in a strange predicament when you make these.
Men. Don't ever, when she's
here we go
making comments about her weight,
my wine now.
Don't ever say it's okay, I love you for who you are. Because what we're hearing is, yes, you are fucking fat, but it's on the inside that is what counts.
Really?
That's all I just heard you say.
Seriously?
I love you for who you are. Like, yes, you are unattractive, but that's okay.
Oh, I hear it now.
Right.
Oh, that's cunty.
Right. Yeah.
Quanty.
It's not cunty. It's just like...
It's a little cunty.
It's not. It's like, you're ignorant.
Well, for someone who's kind of into... That's cunty.
Ignorant is not cunty.
Why not?
Because cunty is like intentional.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. See?
Ignorant
I'm a man.
is like, right.
I proved your point. Are you happy now?
You're like an in-between category.
Whatever. I feel so fat today.
It's on the inside that counts.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Let me rephrase. May I?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's on us to reassure the other person that you're not feeling less attracted to them for any reason, and in particular, any reason, period.
Right.
And that their insecurity is something that they kind of need to work through, because that's the part that you're not attracted to. That's the part that's kind
but
of
also
making...
don't say that either.
Not like that. No, I agree.
I think 100%. This guy nailed it when he was like, if she wants to lose weight for herself, fine. If she doesn't, fine.
But
if
it sounds like no answer is the right answer.
Well, that's why I said, I think him flat out being like, babe, like, I'm like, how can I make you feel loved or supported? Or do you just want me to say nothing? Do you want me to reiterate that I think you look amazing? Like, is there a way I can handle this to help you through this a little bit more? I think that will not only is like normal and healthy, but also could potentially kind of wake her up to like, he is reassuring, reaffirming,
acknowledging.
He's reinforcing that like he's perfectly fine with how I look, whether I've gained weight or not. So maybe she can wake up to that and be like, not get so angry or like, yeah, you just called me fat. Like, you called you fat.
You called you fat. And
I'm saying.
And you're mad that I didn't jump on board.
But then you're mad that I technically did, because I said I don't care if you gained weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's all I got.
I think that's all you can do, other than recommend therapy.
Yeah.
And that, I can't imagine that going over well.
I agree.
Okay, great. So I'll just get to the response?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm glad we're on the same page, Biff. Dear Not a Weight Watcher, which I didn't have a chance to say. I love that fucking name. Funny. It might be time for a meta conversation. You've told her she isn't fat. You've told her you like her body as is. You've told her you're fine with her losing weight. You've told her that you're okay with her maintaining her current frame. But have you told her that none of that seems to make her happy? Have you told her that you feel at a loss? Have you asked her why she continues to engage you in a conversation that inevitably leaves her unsatisfied? The key here, I suspect, is that these discussions are an outlet for her negative feelings about her body. There is indeed nothing you can say to improve things by design. Unfortunately, her catharsis is directed at you ultimately. It doesn't sound like she ends up feeling better. The primary outcome is that you feel worse. I would level with her and tell her these conversations are unproductive and draining. You can offer to tell her what she wants to hear, should she be interested in providing a script. But you can also tell her that you're no longer interested in engaging. You're sanguine about her body. She is not. This is her issue to deal with and overcome. I get the sense that you'll be entirely supportive of her however she pursues happiness here, whether it's counseling, a fitness plan, both, or something else. But she has to pursue it. These endless conversations may give a false sense of working through issues, but they're actually just the spinning wheels with no apparent caloric deficit. It's time for her to take a new tact. Encourage that and make sure that she understands that she has your full support.
Yeah, pretty much what we said collectively.
Sans caloric deficit. So great. And also a little insensitive, I'm going to say.
I was going to
funny.
say, we're not really ones to make fat jokes.
No, but...
unless they're about ourselves.
I guess, I mean, they're a publication, so, you know.
Also, he's saying it to the husband and not the wife who thinks she's fat.
Right.
So.
Right. So that was fun, Beth.
I liked that one.
I am not going to lie. I loved that caloric deficit comment.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
But also, kudos to that man.
Yeah, like, I'm in love with you, and that's it to me.
We've had way more. Actually, we've had tons of questions that are like, my wife gained weight. Like, I'm not attracted to her no more, or him, or this guy was just like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. I just want to have great sex, and like, she's stopping me.
I like it the way you jiggle. I love it.
Jiggle harder.
Right.
Jiggle less. I don't care. Just jiggle.
This? Like,
oh man.
Freaking A. Like,
now you're
kudos to
speaking
that
my
guy.
language.
So I just wanted to point that out because the questions we find are always
misogynist pigs.
Like, I'm not attracted to my wife no more after she had our 12th child.
Right.
Like
the 12th one was the final straw. Literally.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Misogyny is deeply embedded in our culture.
It is. It really is.
Really fucking gross. That's all I'll say.
But your chubby girlfriend ain't.
Nope. She's hot as fuck. Another one?
Yeah.
This one is called, I'm afraid my sex life is about to destroy my very public career. No? What's that look on your face?
I just went both two ways. I went to like, hello OnlyFans, and I went to, because I'm a window shopper.
Okay. Much that I'd love to hear your logic. Actually, I want to hear your logic.
Like, just public stuff, getting caught in the public.
I guess I'm lost on the OnlyFans thing because if you're...
I have an OnlyFans, but if my job finds out, or if, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That type of thing.
OnlyFans to me is a job. And so I thought that was the very public career.
I see it like a side job.
I love that we have this.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I am.
Let's do this. Jessica Stoya, May 17th, 2022. Dear How to Do It. I recently discovered a love of rope bondage. I've learned a lot from books and YouTube, but now I would like to learn more in person with other like-minded individuals. Okay. What about bondage do you learn on YouTube? How to tie the knots?
And like things to do? How to bondage someone? I don't know.
Oh, you weren't giving me definitive answers.
No.
You sounded so confident.
I thought I ended with like the question mark.
No.
Okay.
You ended with a period.
Okay. I'll take it.
I live in a large city in a conservative part of the country, but there are clubs here that offer regular tying practice sessions.
The more you know, okay?
I did not I'm sorry. Is this the Boy Scouts? I know.
According to that Netflix documentary,
what Netflix No, we'll talk later. No, we'll talk now. What documentary?
The one about like the Boy Scouts guy that was like to all the little Boy Scout boys.
I know nothing about this.
Oh, it was a huge thing. I'm pretty sure it's Netflix.
Oh.
Maybe Hulu.
Oh, actually, a case comes to mind.
It's like
from not too long ago,
the church, like the priests.
Okay.
But it's like Boy Scouts. Like nobody knew, but like it was so prevalent. Like it was all the time.
The next nearest city with similar resources is several hours away. What? They don't have rope in the next town? The problem, I'm employed in a field which requires me to keep a spotless reputation. Think lawyer, teacher, doctor. What if I encounter people who know me at one of those events? Or later run into some of the people I would be tying or being tied by in a work-related situation?
You look familiar.
I tied that knot on you, right? The double
Whammy.
half swoop knot with a rose. I have also heard stories about people surveilling the parking areas of such places and taking down license plate numbers. These situations could really derail my career and destroy my reputation if someone wanted to use it against me. Do you have any suggestions for safeguarding privacy and safety? It would certainly be more convenient to attend the local events, but would it be safe at all? Would the out-of-town ones actually be any safer? How have others in this position handled the situation, or should I just forget about it? Tied up.
I don't know. My first thought was like, if you're running into people or worried about running into people, then like, what are they going to go tell people? Because they're there too, right?
Right.
Like,
that's where I was
yeah.
too. Like, oh, if they're there, then really you have no issue.
Yeah, because.
But that doesn't necessarily mean, like, to me, that's like, oh, secret's out, right? But if they're not a public employee and they're the parent of a child, then let's say that they're a teacher, can they use that against them? Can they be like, I don't want this person teaching my children?
Yes, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can they use it logically? No, because like, do I want you parenting your kids? But so it's that kind of like, my HR brain's already going.
I was going to say, I'm not really sure where to go with this because I've never had a job that was like, if we find out that you're tying people up on the weekends in a black leather dress, then like you're fired, or like, you know what I mean? So I don't have that fear of like, oh my God, what if somebody I know sees me?
Can I tell the listeners a story?
Please do.
I was a public service employee in the HR space. Double whammy.
Right.
The double whammy, wins or not.
Yes.
And I was also very much aware of that. You remember, like, I need to keep my job. If there's anything that would show that I am going, against the image of that type of work, I'm really having a hard time trying to not spell out what I did,
right,
because I might need to return to it someday.
Right.
But if I found myself in that position, I knew being in HR that there would be a basis for it. Would it be something that it has been spelled out? No. So would I be able to collect unemployment? Yes.
Right.
But that needs to be specifically spelled out. And it's also things, the types of jobs that I'm thinking about in this regard are union jobs where you have that union protection, right?
Yeah.
And so if it's not specifically spelled out in the contract, you have so much hope. You have a lot of hope because unions are very powerful.
Yeah.
And so my thought here is, if you are a teacher or an officer or something, as long as it doesn't impact or infringe on your ability to do your job, it shouldn't be an issue. And if you have faith in your union, then, again, disclaimer, we're not professionals, but if you have faith in your union, then what is the harm in just doing your extracurriculars so as long as it's not illegal?
So I'm just wondering if it's like less of like the legal factor and more of my reputation.
So I don't feel like it's so much reputation, so much it is just their career in general. Like they know that they can be fired for misconduct. This is what it feels like to me.
For like outside personal things?
Is if they're in a public position like that, it's very possible. Especially if there's a clause in their contract. Again, like read your union guidebooks. Like you need to know what you've got going on, what you're protected with, what you're not.
Right.
Like if you're a police officer and you're showing up at a gangbang,
right? Yeah.
So long as you're at someone's house, if someone points you out, it's just like, I have sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're a police officer and you're soliciting a sex worker on the street,
right,
that's grounds for termination because you can prove very well that you're going against your job. You're defying, you know what I mean?
So it's the same even if certain acts weren't illegal, like a cop going to find someone on the street corner is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like obviously they're gonna get fired for that.
I mean,
but
yeah, it depends, because a cop is supposed to be on the lookout for that and based for those kinds of things, right? Technically, like,
yeah,
we're not condemning sex acts. We're just talking about like the law as it pertains in Massachusetts. Like, sex work is illegal,
well, that's what I'm saying. Is there
in that respect, like illegal
it's
sex
kind of
work.
obvious that like if a police officer, went and did something illegal, he's
Right.
gonna get fired. Versus like he was spotted at the local, what's a legal but like sketchy, risque thing.
He was at a group sex
Swingers
thing at a friend's house.
Like it's frowned upon, but it's not
Right.
illegal. Is that still?
It's not, it technically isn't, but it really depends on where you are. For example, one of the things I heard about yesterday was there's a Disney film where there is I believe it's a Black or a Latino character who's also gay. And there is a teacher in Florida who showed this movie after getting signed permission slips from all these parents that we could show rated G movies.
Right.
And I think they're facing administrative leave or scrutiny.
Wow.
Because Florida's in the news a lot. Governor DeSantis is a piece of shit who has pretty much denounced anyone who isn't a white man.
Wow.
So, and I will stand by that. It's not slander. I think I have at least 80% of the nation behind me. So come at me. Leave Stefani alone.
I was going to say, I don't know what's going on.
But essentially, yeah, like there's a fight with Disney because Disney won't back the don't say gay laws or rules. And so there's this one teacher who's Latina who says she paired this with the curriculum and she apologized because she didn't think that this would be in correlation with this. But she is also not apologizing for sharing the video because there's nothing wrong with the video. The movie. So, I mean, it's a Disney, again, Disney in Florida, but it's still a Disney movie and permission slips to say you can show a rated G movie to my kid, which I wouldn't blink twice about signing.
Right.
So.
I have Disney Plus. My child's already seen that movie 3 times.
Oh, see?
You know what I mean? Like, that's wild.
It really depends on where you are and get a feel for the people that you work with and the people you work around. But your public interests or your private interests, they don't really have a lot of bearing on your career unless you're so much of a public employee or you're in the public eye, like a celebrity. But even I hear that.
Well, that's why I guess I was curious if this was
and
more.
I'm searching on Google.
Right.
Well,
that's why I was more concerned if it was like a legal thing, like I can risk getting fired versus just like if this gets out, my name as a teacher or a lawyer or whatever is kind of ruined.
Yeah, we can't.
You know what I mean?
We can't advise based on the legal aspects, but we can say like, if you're not harming anyone, and it doesn't put your job in jeopardy based on your contracts or your union negotiations or anything.
Your specific job.
Live your life. But you also have to be in a position where you're like, all right, if in these great odds there are consequences to it, am I ready to fight it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's a big deal. That's a big, I don't want to tell someone like if your union contract says you're good, if you're a cop or a teacher or a firefighter, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, are you a DARE officer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you in schools all day long? Because then maybe if a student sees you going to a strip club.
Yeah, that was the direction I was coming from, where it's like, okay, this isn't gonna like.
But even still, like, there's nothing wrong
but
with
it can
having a personal sex life.
I was gonna say, because you still get to have a life and a job.
I think as long as you're not breaking any laws, you should be great.
Or
as long as you're not breaking any contracts,
right?
Should be great. Read the fine print everywhere. Union contracts, employment contracts, anything. I don't know where you are, what state you're in, if it's a right to work or not. If it's a right to work, they're going to fire you for no matter what anyway. So, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Also, YOLO.
Yeah, YOLO, motherfucker. response?
Yeah.
Dear Tied Up, however you do this, you'll be taking some kind of a risk. Going out of town does reduce the likelihood that you'll run into anyone you know.
I feel like if you're trying to do like things that you want to keep on the DL, I feel like most people's thought process is like, let me go out of town to do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like you might run into, you have a better
You
chance
never
of running
know.
into people you know, because you're
For
all
sure.
having the same thought.
For sure. So that part we have to kind of leave up to you.
Right.
But if you're, you're in a town that's very, very conservative and there's one strip club, which it sounds like that's
Absolutely.
exactly the case.
Could be, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Only they don't teach you how to tie knots in strip club.
No.
But if you're a Boy Scout in a very conservative town, then, you might be fine,
Right.
but you might not. Because I feel like conservative is also French for everything's a secret.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm ashamed of breathing.
Exactly.
Breathing, not breeding. You can always check in advance whether an event has a no photos policy. I didn't think of that. That's a good one. For the people recording license plate numbers, you might take a cab or rideshare app to and from the venue, or park somewhere nearby and walk over. There's this idea that anyone who sees you in a compromising position this way is also in a compromising position themselves. But the reality is that you might run into someone who has no issue with other people in your community knowing that they were in a rope tying lesson. You can absolutely ask anyone who recognizes you to please keep your presence quiet, but asking doesn't guarantee a yes or a commitment to a no.
Also, that can make it worse. If you're just like, oh, hey, John. Versus like, oh my God, John, you never saw me here. They're going to be like, oh, did I?
John? I thought that was you motherfucker. No one ties a knot like that.
Did your wife ever make it out on bail, by the way?
Precisely. You might split the middle by looking for rope classes that are being held online in spaces where leaving your camera off is allowed.
Yeah, but she already specified she wanted in-person stuff.
Yep. And also, I don't think they're specifically looking at rope tying lessons. I think that was an example.
The in-person part of it.
I want to
now
be
I
rope
want to tie
tie
someone
lessoned.
up. Yeah.
I want to be the subject.
Exactly.
Or right. Or I want to.
Adjective. You said subject. I was trying to
Her wine glass is empty in her defense.
I failed school in my defense.
No, you didn't.
High school? Well,
didn't
no,
fail.
I didn't fail. No, you're right. But I didn't
What a
do
terrible defense.
great. Well, you know me, okay?
I do. And still, I disagree.
Continue.
You'll want to make sure that you're logging in anonymously. Zoom, for instance, tends to automatically display your name, and that camera is actually off. I also know that Zoom, you can change your name to whatever you want it to be. Not Ty McTyerson.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you'll have to decide.
Nuts.
Yeah. Ty D's nuts. At the end of the day, you'll have to decide what you're willing to risk to explore your new sexual hobby. That's your choice, and in today's political climate, it's a hard one indeed.
No pun intended.
That's it. Politically,
What we said.
Yeah. It's a political disaster. But that's
You're
all I can think
fucked
of.
either way.
Your very public career, you're a teacher, you're a cop, you're a parks worker, you're whatever it is, be careful and be smart and,
Or just
drive the hour. YOLO, but drive the hour to make yourself feel better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just make yourself feel better. It's one thing to enjoy these things, but then to feel guilt afterwards because of something else.
That's no way to
kill
live.
a buzz,
Yeah, that's no way
just
to live.
travel every once in a while, but also know that there are risks with you being nearby. And if you are a cop, a
There's
teacher, a
risks
parks
for
worker, a
everything,
firefighter, right?
You know
But we're
what I
talking
mean?
about people's livelihoods too. You know what I mean? We're talking about financial
Right. No, yeah.
freedom,
Yeah.
or health or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Fiscal health. Just saying, if you know that there are risks in that regard and you know your union contracts and you know your employment contract and all of that, then be careful, be smart. I can't advise either way that if there's something specific in there about,
Right.
bondage,
Yeah.
don't let me catch you tying a knot when you're putting out that fire, then don't get caught putting a knot on when you're putting out a fire. Like, just don't put yourself in that position. I know it's easier said than done, especially when temptation's involved, but you know, you've got your life in the grand scheme to think about. Just be smart.
Also, there's more jobs.
But also Google private sex parties. I mean, private not tying parties. 18
You better
plus,
not mention that
18
again.
plus. What?
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
You said Google not tying parties. I said you better not mention that again. Biff,
I was being literal.
you've been ill-advised.
Biff, you have a special question for us, don't you?
I do. So this one is, well, it's my sister, but also listener. She texted me specifically saying, I need ill advice.
Excellent.
But she sent me a photo of her boyfriend, who she's been with almost 2 years now.
That's it?
And she said, yeah. I know.
Okay, sure.
I know.
Yeah, I advise.
Feels like forever.
Or I accept.
But she said, notice anything. So I took a moment to look over the photo.
And you're very perceptive.
Yes.
I'm going to add. I have a feeling you're going to say, like, no. I don't know.
Well, it took me a minute because, especially with my sister, I go right to her spelling that she openly admits to.
Right.
But I couldn't, nothing was jumping out at me right away. But then at the very last moment, I said, oh, wedding ring? Question mark.
Did you bury the fucking lead? Keep going. Keep going.
So she sent the flat eyes emoji, meaning yes, I was right. And she said, it's a big project for him. He just finished a book for his line of work. So it's a photo of him holding his new book that he just published. And he's holding it with his left hand, which has the wedding ring on it. She said it's a big project. And she said he offered to have them redo the photo. And she said, you know, this is a big project for him. She said, except for it doesn't feel good to, you know, have my boyfriend, this photo out there with him having, he's divorced. And she's like, my sister was very upset about this. Like,
I feel not to diminish your sister's concern or her upsets. However, I thought you burying the lead meant that they eloped, and this is how you're finding out. So no. I feel so much better now, and I'm focused on what you're saying. So you may go.
Okay, yeah, no. So long story short, you know, his team, his business, they created this, what would you call it? Like here I wrote a book by my book. What's that called?
An ad?
No, but like an ad. But I don't feel like that's the right word.
A promotion?
Promotion.
That would be an
by
ad.
my book. And except for it's an older picture of him when he was married and has his wedding ring on. My sister immediately was like upset about it. She didn't make a huge deal. It wasn't like, you know, meltdown. Oh my God, you need to take this down right now. But she wasn't sure. Do I tell him that bothers me or do I not? You know what I mean? She was like, I don't know what to do. She's like, it's just, she even said, I don't know why it bothers me so much. She said, I guess it's just weird to see the man that I love all over the internet with a wedding ring on. So this was kind of I'm not going to read the rest until after we discussed it, but.
Oh, okay. So there is resolution.
But yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is like.
So she was her own advice calling this?
Should she say anything? Should she not? Is this you know? So he's been divorced 3-4 years now. He's been with my sister. So this is an
old picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been with my sister almost 2, but he just wrote this book now.
Right.
So it's like, this is going to be the picture, you know? And he's got his wedding ring on from 4 or 5 years ago. And my sister's like, I don't want my boyfriend's photo out there with him with a wedding ring on. So she was like, do I say anything? Like, he offered, because it must have been obvious to him that she was like, oh my God, this is a picture, you have a fucking wedding ring on. So it must have been obvious to him that like she noticed that, she picked up on that. So he said like, do you want me to have them change the picture? But then she wasn't sure. Like, I don't know, do I have him change the picture? Because like this is a business thing. Like they put a lot of work into these ads, whatever they're called. But also like, you're my boyfriend and that makes me feel sucky to have your big, huge photo out there with your wedding ring on.
So is the question just to change the photo or to approach her feelings with it?
Too specific, because he offered to have them redo the photo.
So we don't know
And
the
she
exact
didn't
circumstances
know.
of that conversation, like how that came up. And
She said he offered to have them redo it. It's a big project, but it feels not good to have an ad out there of him seemingly married with his brand new book. She said, do I tell him I'm not okay with it because it feels bad, or do I suck it up given he's providing for all of us and it's just work?
that's a really good question.
Right.
And it tugs at a lot of different heartstrings.
So many angles
Yeah.
to come from.
So my initial takeaway is she knows her man. She knows that this is an old picture and it absolutely has no reflection on their current relationship. Knowing that this is an old picture and knowing the perception out there, is she secure in her relationship, her one-on-one, to know the truth? To know that this is a 3 or 4 year old photo, to know that we've been together for 2 years of those 3 or 4 years.
After those 3 or 4 years.
Right. To know that we've been together for that long and to be okay with that. Like, these are marketing tactics, marketing ploys. And if he signs something, for example, in a lot of cases, he really doesn't have a choice. But it sounds like he might be okay with changing it. It sounds like he might have a choice. So does she say something to him because he's offered this and put it on the table?
Right.
I don't see any harm saying, if it's something that you can do and you're okay with it, then that's fine. But I also understand that this is a me thing, me feeling this way, because you can't hold someone accountable for what they did or their past life. It's not reflective of your relationship.
Right, because she even said, I don't know why this bothers me so much.
That's so.
And she didn't know. She didn't know when he offered, like, clearly that's something you picked up on and are bothered by it. Do you want me to have them change it? And she was like, do I say yes because I would love you to change it? Because for whatever reason that I'm not even aware of yet, it does bother me. Or do I just kind of, that I don't fucking love that, but it is what it is.
Well, let me say, oh my God, you have an attentive man. I feel so bad for you.
Exactly what I told her.
I feel so bad for you. I can't complain. Colin is very attentive.
Colin's amazing.
He's so good.
Colin.
So, but like, oh my God, you have an attentive man. I feel so bad for you. But also, and this is weird because he kind of offered to make the change, right?
Yeah, because it's not like she said, oh my God, I fucking hate this. Can you fix it?
Right.
She just like, her face said, oh my God, I fucking hate this. Can you fix it? And he said, oh.
I recognize that you recognized.
I can see your face there.
I seen you, seen me, see me.
Exactly. Should I have them change it?
And I would say, like, approach it delicately, but like, if it makes you feel a certain way, then express those feelings. But if you don't know why it makes you feel that way, that's what you need to address first. You need to find out why you feel that way, why this is making you feel that way when you know the truth. The perception out there, I understand, but you need to understand on your part. If you're admitting why you don't know why it makes you feel a certain way, you need to take a second. You need to understand. And I'm only speaking selfishly because of me, because I know I don't approach an issue until I'm like, why do I feel this way? Or why is this making me feel this way? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that's the first approach, and kind of taking it from there. If you find out that it's making you feel this way because, you know, as this question is kind of veering and leaning, like, I'm feeling this way because it implies that he's still with his ex-wife. Well, it's just an implication, and it's a conversation between the two of you, and not just a, yes, I want you to change it.
Pretty much what I said to her was just like, I totally hear you, because I feel like I would most definitely feel like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But from outside perspective, I was like, if they notice that, one, the people that matter, like the people in your guys' lives, are gonna know, you know what I mean, that he's divorced and or in a relationship with you. And then to like the other people, they'll probably just assume you're the one he's married to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And your family's gonna be pissed you didn't tell them you got married, like I was.
Right. Right. So I feel like knowing me and knowing the things that tend to come out for me in relationships, I probably would want to change it.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way I am. I still have some work to do.
Yeah. If he didn't offer, so let's do that. Like, so if you're your sister and he didn't offer, what would you, I guess, what would you ask him to change it?
I think I would bring it up in a way that's like, you know, is that something that is like an easy fix, or is that like a huge deal to change? You know what I mean? I think I would bring it up that way. But I actually said to her, you have a man who loves and respects you enough to fix it, or to offer to fix it. So, like, I say embrace that.
Yeah, I think so too. You've got someone who's actually like,
It's a
who
huge
recognized
deal. Exactly.
something.
That's a big thing,
You know?
especially in a relationship.
Yeah, and he's acknowledging your feelings before you get a chance to really express them, articulate them.
Verbally.
Right.
Right.
Your face says everything.
Right.
But before you're able to articulate them, like, that's a big deal. So if he's offering and it's going to make you feel better,
Right.
you know, I still think it's important to find out why it bothers you.
Yeah.
You know, if she's saying she doesn't know why it bothers her, then I
Right.
think that's a little bit of soul searching. You know, just because he does change it and does kind of cater to the relationship in that way, it's not a kind of like, it's not, I guess, an excuse.
It's not good or bad, but
no, I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
I just think I don't think it's an excuse to just kind of push that feeling aside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So it turns out, she said he's having his team take down the ad and fix it.
That's sweet.
I know.
That's sweet. He's doing things for her, recognizing, like, just being like putting his best self forward in that relationship, you know, and just hope she returns the sentiment or the favor just in their daily life, not like in anything, like, don't go out of your way to like create an issue to fix it because that's what you're in the family for.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, honestly, I'm curious what you would do, because out of us two, I'm like the jealous type in my relationships, whereas you've always been just, I guess,
silent
healthier.
jealous type.
Well, maybe, but like less, like different jealous. You know what I mean? Me, I'm like, who the fuck is that?
stew. You open your mouth in a second, and I'm over here like stewing. My insides are tender.
Yeah, but there's so many times that I'm like, you don't even care. Like, you didn't even ask who that was.
Oh yeah, no,
That type of.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would it bother you?
I'm wondering if I would notice it first. Probably when it's printed.
Yeah, because he didn't notice.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I can't put myself in those shoes. I think I'd notice it and be like, oh, that's an old one, huh?
Right.
But then I'd be like,
What if that was like what you said, and then Colin, because that's who your current boyfriend is, he was like, oh, like, damn, I didn't even notice that. Do you want me to fix it?
I think I'd leave it up to him, honestly. I think I'd say something to the effect of like, I know you're mine, you know you're mine. We're not married, so you'll have to field those questions, but I'll leave it up to you. If it's important to you, it's important to me. And to me, it's like, I don't know that it would necessarily bother me that way. But to me, like, I know the truth, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. That was my outside thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, people who like don't know you guys that well, it's not like they're going to go, oh my God, he's got a ring on. Like, you know? And the people that do know you guys well know. They'll probably say the same thing, like, oh, it's an old picture, huh?
Yeah.
Or you guys get married?
One of two things would happen if this was me and Colin. A, he'd just be like, oh, nothing I can do about it now, and just like let it be. Or before the ad even came out, he'd be like, I was wearing my ring for my last relationship and I'm not about to fuck with that. And he'll either cut it off at the pass or it'll be too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So either he'll feel a certain way about it or not. But yeah, I can't say that I'm bothered by it. It's just a ring to me, I guess.
Oh.
Although if we were married and he didn't have that ring on, putting the shoe on the other foot.
Right. It's an old picture and now there's no ring.
Oh, it's reversed. Oh no, bitch. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's different. Totally different. You know what I mean? You're in a relationship with me. You're
right.
married
You're telling
to
the
me.
world that you're not.
Right. That's a different story.
At least you have a ring on in this picture. So people, even if they don't know us, they think you're married.
And it's, to me, it's one of those like pick your battle things, and it's not a battle that's worth fighting for me.
Yeah. I think that's how my sister felt. Like, I want him to change it, but I also like I don't know why this is bothering me, so I'm not really sure how to navigate it.
There was a good bunch of questions this week.
Yeah.
Some fun ones.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely missed that little bit of levity because we've been getting a little bit serious. So let's balance a little bit in there.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's all that we have today. In the meantime, you can catch up on all of our episodes on illadvisedthepodcast.com. And if you get bored and you just want to write a little bit, send us your questions, comments, and all your concerns to illadvisedthepodcast@gmail.com.
And also on social media, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at illadvisedthepodcast.
Yeah, don't be strangers to us. We're your BiFFs. Remember that.
Yeah, and we're also running out of wines.
No, we're not.
Well, no,
No,
but
we're not.
like,
I'm spitting everywhere. No, we're not.
I know, but we keep getting stuck with not so great ones sometimes.
Yeah, we do have those stretches where we're just kind of like, please someone recommend something less awful than this.
Plus it's summer. We know there's some good summer drinks out there.
Yes, cocktails too. Send us your cocktails. We love food and drink
And cocktails.
and tails and tails and more tails. And that's it. That's all we've got. You guys are fantastic. You're wonderful. Everything about you is 100% golden. And if your man extends an olive branch without a war, then take it.
Take it.
And thank you for listening.
You've been ill-advised.